Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be my Sephora Summer Bonus Event Shopping Guide. Sephora reached out to me and asked me if I would like to partner again with them for this. It did not have to be brand, product, or price specific as usual. It could be anything I want that Sephora sells. The only stipulation was I had to quickly cover the Sephora Beauty Insider membership program and the current dates for the discounts. If you're not already a member of Sephora's Beauty Insider program, you should sign up. It's free. It just keeps track of what you spend, which earns you points. The points you can then exchange for rewards like deluxe samples, sometimes trips, makeovers. Sometimes they have like jackets and things online. Tuesdays and Thursdays, I believe, is when they redo them. You can sign up online or in store for free at any time. I'll leave a link below if you're not already a member. I'll show a chart here on the screen real quick of the benefits of the different tiers. There are currently 3 different Sephora Beauty Insider membership tiers, each level earning you additional perks and benefits. It's basically a loyalty program. The more you shop with Sephora, the higher your Beauty Insider level. You become an insider by spending $1 to $349 in a calendar year. You become a VIB by spending between $350 and $999 in a calendar year. And Rouges, which you spend $1,000 or more in a calendar year. Sephora's Beauty Insider membership program is available currently in the United States and Canada only. So here are the details for the Sephora Summer Bonus event. Day 1 is for Rouge, and that is on 8/19. You will get 20% off, and if you care to bring a friend, they too can enjoy your 20% off on that one singular day. Otherwise, the dates are from August 19th, 8/19 until 8/27. So you're gonna have a whole week worth of shopping time, which is yay. You can use this code and the discount as many times as you want during the event. One time it was you can only use it one time online, and I think as many times as you want it in store. But this is unlimited online and in store. In store, you just have to give your phone number or your email linked to your account if you don't have your card on you, or be logged in online under your account, and simply apply at checkout code SUMMERSAVE, which I will have in the description box for the discount to be applied. You do have to mention it if you're checking out in store and you don't have your coupon to make sure that they know to apply it just in case. Then August 20th through the 27th is going to be for VIBs. VIBs are going to get a 15% discount, again, in stores or online at checkout with code SUMMERSAVE. So they're the exact same codes. Rouge just gets a one-day head start. So this bonus event is for Rouge and VIBs only. Quick legal disclaimer, discount does not apply to taxes, shipping, and other fees. Some limitations apply. See store for details. Available in the US and Canada. Now that we've explained all that, let's get on to my picks. And again, as always, there will be timestamps below in case you are in the market just for a certain product or category. And as always, in case I forget to mention, anything that has been sent to me for consideration by each respective brand will be marked with a star in my description box. I am an affiliate with Sephora, so anything you buy from my links will earn me a commission. You're free to go directly to the site as well without using them. As always, no pressure. I'm going to do these how I normally do, which is a little labor intensive, but I figure it leaves less questions for you guys and less clicking. I'm going to put a screen up on the side here with all the details next to me like I have been doing, just so I don't miss anything important, because I'm going to cover a lot of products. Also on the side of the screen, when I put all those details up, I'm going to show you what the regular price is, what the 20% off price is, and then what the 15% off price is, just so you guys don't have to kind of do the math on that. And as always, I have multiple picks for each category. I like them all for different reasons. I'll tell you that, so it may help you deciding what's the best for you. Keep in mind, again, you do not need every one of these products. I'm going to show you some acids that I really enjoy. By all means, do not buy all of them. You don't need all of these acids. Same things with foundations and other products like that. People just need different options. They either have more sensitive skin, they want a matte foundation, they want a dewy foundation, they want less coverage, more coverage, vegan options, some that have very deep shades, some that have very fair shades. So that's why I like to give you guys a few different options. In case you can notice, I do want to address real quickly, I had an IPL the other day. You can see it's gotten really dark on the freckles on my chest, and it's made my neck really red. I had it on my face too. My foundation is covering it up, but I do see my neck looks a little more red compared to my face, so I just wanted to let you know. So like I normally do these, I'm going to do these kind of in steps how I do them in the morning. So first up is skincare. If you have any questions on how I use these products, I will have my updated skincare routines linked below. And if I do run out of space, because normally these videos I do in the description box, I'll have a pinned comment with the rest of the links and all pertinent information. So first let's start off with my favorite AM cleansers from Sephora. One of my favorites, long-standing, has been the Fresh Soy Face Cleanser. This is very, very gentle. It's non-foaming. It feels really good on the skin. It doesn't strip you. I have this in several sizes. I like it that they make it in several sizes. This is perfect for traveling for me, so I don't have to bring the big old tube that I have. I really enjoy this one. Next up would be the Belief. This is a cleansing oil enriched. I like this. This is a very liquidy, I don't want to pump it on my hand because I don't have anything to wipe it on. This is very liquidy. It's like a pure oil. It doesn't irritate my skin. There's no mineral oil in here. Which again, mineral oil isn't bad for your skin. It just sits on top of your skin and won't let any other like beneficial ingredients penetrate. So it's not necessarily that bad if you have it in a cleanser because you're going to be cleansing it off, but it could form a film on your skin. It could make it more difficult for other ingredients that you're going to follow up with penetrate. I really like this. I think the cost is right on this, so I would recommend this one if you like a more liquidy and you have more dry skin. Then this one is new. I haven't mentioned this before because I've been testing it. This is the Belief Aqua Bomb Jelly Cleanser. Now, if you guys have been watching me, you know that my favorite moisturizer is their True Cream Moisturizing Balm. They also have an Aqua Bomb. I don't like the Aqua Bomb. It's like a jelly. It looks bluish. The packaging is identical, so you have to really read the packaging and make sure you're picking up the right one. So since I didn't like the Aqua Bomb, I didn't think that I would like this because the Aqua Bomb moisturizer is more for those with oily skin, but I actually really enjoy this. This is not stripping, it's not foaming. The price is right on this. You're getting 5.41 ounces on here. It's made in Korea. I love a lot of Korean and Japanese skincare brands, so I do like this if you're looking for an alternative, because remember there was I used to love a brand that they carried in Sephora that had a jelly cleanser and they discontinued the brand altogether. So not just Sephora, just in general. So I'm always on the lookout for a good jelly cleanser. So I love this one. Next, let's talk about vitamin C serums. So I should have a video. It's either going to be up before this one or after. I need to pick up my Drunk Elephant C-Firm a Day Serum. I'm completely out. I have loved that vitamin C serum since I've ever tried it and used it. It is L-ascorbic acid, which is not a very stable form of vitamin C, but it's what your body converts derivatives into. So the more conversions it needs to make to get it to that, the less potent it's going to be. So you kind of have to have a trade-off. You can have the LAA and water, which is going to feel more elegant on your skin because it dissolves in water, or you can have it in an oil suspension, which is going to feel more gritty, but it's going to make it stable because there's no pH in it. Anything with water has a pH in it, and vitamin C needs to be at a pretty close range pH for it to work properly on the skin. So you're kind of making a trade-off on there. So that C-Firm a Day Serum, if you open it and it is dark, you can return it to Sephora, you can return it to Drunk Elephant, and they will replace it for you if it has turned. Just make sure you're using it within 6 months. So that is on my list to pick up during this event. And then the next one I'm actually super, super excited about because this is something that's brand new to me. This is the Pharmacy Berry Cherry Bright. This is a 15% clean vitamin C serum. Not gonna lie, I couldn't help but laugh. I think this is Acerola cherry. I thought this said areola. Goes to show you where my mind is thinking. The cool thing about this is 4 different forms of vitamin C in here, and one being an ethylated LAA, which I find very fascinating. I was using that in a very expensive line. I was testing it for a little bit, and that's my favorite form. This has several forms in there. They also have 4 forms of hyaluronic acid. This not only is going to help brighten your complexion, it's also going to help hydrate and plump your skin, which is amazing. It's also nice that this is vegan and cruelty-free. This has been one of my new favorite finds recently. That should also be better for people that have a sensitivity to vitamin C. If you do have a sensitivity, I would recommend to go get a sample of that, because derivatives aren't as harsh as LAA directly, but still, since that has a version of that, I would still get a sample and test that out. And next, I've mentioned this before, this is the Ren Glow Daily Vitamin C Gel Cream. When they say gel cream too, I've talked about this before. I thought it would be a lot more jelly. It says it's more just like a light lotion. It feels like what I would call a water-based lotion. This does contain fatty alcohols, not drying alcohols, vitamin C derivatives. It has magnesium to help with luminosity. It's hydrating. It has pteropod extracts to help even skin tone and reduce redness. This is nice and gentle. It should not irritate anybody's skin. And Ren is all about being cruelty-free. This has 9 months on here. They don't use any of like those, when people call them like the suspicious ingredients, they don't use anything like that. This is made in the UK, and I think the price is right on here for what you're getting. I'm also drinking my coffee out of my Hawaii. I collect these little Starbucks mugs when I go. It's been a long week. Next up is the Drunk Elephant Bee Hydra Gel. I had mixed feelings on this. I believe I've talked about this numerous times. When I first got this, when I first bought it, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this because it's so light. Now, you see that? It is just a gel. I use this as sandwich moisture. I can't use this alone. If you're extremely oily, that might be enough on its own, but I don't feel like it is. I love to put this over the vitamin C serum, kind of cocktail them together. I don't ever like to mix everything and mix it together and put it on my face, even though essentially that's kind of like what you're doing. I like to go in layers. Everyone has their weird things. I just have some very weird things, I guess. But I was curious, you know, how many times I would like this, and you'll see in the empties video, these are just the top 2 ones that I've already spent that were right there on top of this one that I'm still using. So I do like this. I do come back to it. I miss it when I leave it out of my skincare. I just really like it. It is there just to quench, moisturize, and illuminate. It has pineapple, ceramidins in here, lentil, apple, and watermelon. Basically just like a tall glass of water for your skin. Next up, I am completely out. I have numerous ones of these. This is the Drunk Elephant Proteini Polypeptide Cream. I always say I love saying that word. I like this packaging. When you push down on it, it dispenses the proper amount into this little surface, so you're not constantly opening it and letting air in there and breaking down any beneficial ingredients. You're also not contaminizing it by dipping your fingers in it. Contaminizing it? Did I just say contaminizing it? Contaminating it. Guess I need more coffee. I love this. This is basically like a protein shake for your face. It's chock full of amino acids, polypeptides on here. It's gonna help give your skin like a nice bounce. Now again, think of this more as a treatment or a serum. This is not going to be enough to moisturize your skin on its own, so I use this like I would in the place of a serum or a treatment of some kind. Since this is water lily based, you're going to want to put this as close to the beginning of your routine as possible before you start putting on heavier oils or silicone based products, because this will not be able to penetrate that. I've been missing this for a little while and I've been meaning to pick it up, so I was super excited when I got the flyer talking about the event, because I was like, woohoo, I'll be able to stock up on some of the things I'm missing. And this is vegan and cruelty free and also made in the US. Drunk Elephant also responsibly sources all of their ingredients, which I appreciate, and they pay their staff well. Next up is the Youth to the People Super Berry Hydrate and Glow. You've heard me talk about this oil numerous times. This one does have acai in here. It's super packed full of antioxidants. It has a natural form of vitamin C. It just goes on. It's a very, I would call this more of a, not a dry oil, because it does have a little bit more of a slick to it, but it absorbs fairly quickly. I think you're getting a good amount of product for the cost compared to a lot of other oils out there. 1 ounce of product, $44 regularly priced, or you can get it on deal. They also made in the USA, cruelty free and vegan. Next up is the Biosense 100% squalane oil. I keep this little clip on there when I'm traveling so it doesn't pump and squeeze all over my bag. You can use this pretty much anywhere, your hair, nails, like cuticles, anywhere, your face. It's sugarcane derived. Some come from sharks. Squalane, not all, some do. But this doesn't, so yeah, I really enjoy this. Next up, let's talk about some SPFs. I really love the Josie Moran. This is her Argan Daily Moisturizer, SPF 47. This is a physical sunscreen, but it also doesn't go on as thick as a lot of them since it is mixed with a moisturizer. It rubs in fairly nice. It feels nice. I love the smell of this. It layers well underneath makeup. It almost gives you like a natural glow to your skin because it does contain the argan oil. So you don't have to worry about that like thick where you have like a problem really rubbing it in, which sometimes mineral sunscreens can do for you. This is one that I've been bringing with me on trips and you guys have heard me talk about before. This is the Ren Clear Skin Clean Screen Mineral SPF 30. It's a mattifying face sunscreen. When it says mattifying, to me that's terrifying because I don't ever really want to be matte, but this doesn't matte, it just doesn't slide over. It has 22% zinc oxide in there, it's naturally derived, it's cruelty-free and vegan, which is not always the easiest to find in a good sunscreen. Let's get on to primers. So I have two that I've been using. This one you've heard of me talk about since like the dawn of time. Look at how much I have left in there. I only use this anymore to fill in the piercing scars that I have on my face. Did I even do that on the right side? No, here and here. Just because I used to have like a little Monroe there. I had a lip piercing here. One here too. I was younger, but I didn't have that one as long, I guess, that it went away. I just had like little studs there, little diamond studs. Youth. When I look back now, I'm like, gosh, I wish I would have thought about, I mean, and some people love their stuff, you know, some people hate my tattoos, that's fine. I love my tattoos. But I wish I didn't punch holes in my face that left permanent scars. Like, I have a nose ring still on this side that I can wear. You can't see the scars, and when I take out these nose rings, you can't see, I have a scar on my face from where I was bit by a dog as a child, but I wish I didn't punch those holes, and I did also, I talked about it before, I had my ears stretched when I was younger, which I'm like, why? That stuff's forever. Anyway, I used to call this my face spackle. This is extremely thick, very heavy silicone. I like to take a little bit on the back of my nail or a spatula and wipe down. Fill that in kind of like a spackle, kind of like pat and wipe. I don't like to rub in circles like that because I find it balls up. And be mindful of what products you're putting on top if you're going to put a heavy... it depends. Sometimes if you have multiple sizes of silicones, dimethicones, they can all kind of rub and pill together. Sometimes if you're putting a heavy water-based moisturizer or like foundation on top of this, it can also start to pill. So just be mindful, kind of let everything dry. And I find with my foundations on top of that, it's better to press in than swirl around with a brush because you kind of like agitate the things underneath it. And then the other one that I've enjoyed and I've talked about, I probably shouldn't, is the Origins. This is the original skin primer. The reason I thought I shouldn't like this is because there is a drying alcohol fairly high up in the ingredient deck on this. And again, I believe that is because it is needed for the aerosol. If you're familiar with that, it needs to like evaporate. It needs to have some kind of a way to get out of the aerosol can, and it evaporates pretty quickly. It is cooling on the skin. It is a flesh tone. I won't say flesh tone because that's a very wide-reaching topic, but it is, it does have some tint to it. I like to put that on my face. It feels really good too, and it's not something that's crazy expensive. But again, if you're doing proper skincare, something like this I don't even think is really necessary. If you have really oily skin, you might want to find something to try to keep the oil at bay. But again, if you get your skincare right, you shouldn't be having as many problems. What I can really only think of for a primer, there are two reasons that I would want to use them anymore. And again, I used to call myself like Optimus Prime because I use like 36 because I didn't have my skincare under control. It's something like a pore filling one if you have really large pores or like some acne scarring, or if you want something that's really luminous because you don't feel like your skin is dewy enough, then you might want to use something that's a little luminous underneath. But otherwise, if you get your skincare in order, I don't think a million primers is necessary. Now let's talk about foundations. So I'm going to go from my least coverage to most coverage foundations like I typically do. First up is Kogendo. This is the Aqua Foundation. I've discussed this before. This has been reformulated from their original Aqua Foundation. This one is going to adhere more to your skin than the previous one. The only setback of that is this is going to be less dewy than the other. If you think about wet paint transfers because it's wet. Dry paint doesn't. So the more matte your foundation is, the less likely it is to transfer off as much as something that's dewy. So they made this adhere to the skin a little better, but the trade-off is it's not going to be as luminous. The regular price for this foundation is pretty pricey. It's $70. So now's the time to get it during the event. This is made in Japan. They do currently only have 10 shades available, which I believe they should expand upon. They are cruelty-free. I did talk with some people there. They said they are in the works of expanding their shade selection, so we'll see what they come up with. Next one has been like one of my go-tos for the longest time. I think this is the longest time I've actually used a foundation. I have 3 shades of this. So this one is 2.4, which is the darkest one I use when I have a spray tan. This one is 2.12, which is the one that's in between, and then I have one I think that's just 2. So the 2 is my lightest. This is my darkest spray tan. This is the middle, and then I can kind of cocktail and mix them as the spray tan is fading. I love this foundation. It says 15-hour wear hydrating foundation. I would not call this hydrating, but it's also not matte. It's more of like just a natural finish on the skin. It does last a very long time. There was an original one, and this has been reformulated again within like the past year. So if you haven't tried it in like a year or so, I would go get a sample and give this a go. I do really enjoy it. Next up is the It Cosmetics CC Cream. I love this stuff. I love this stuff for about 4 hours, and then it starts to suck. It starts to kind of like break up on me. And I don't normally have that problem with foundations. This looks extremely natural on the skin. It's very hydrating. It feels really nice. There is a built-in SPF 50 on here, which is nice, but you should still be wearing SPF underneath because this will not be enough on its own. I just feel like this is something simple that I can rub in or put on a big like kabuki brush, rub all over, fill in my eyebrows, and be out the door. This provides way more coverage than what I would typically consider in a CC or BB cream. There are only 12 shades available. I do think that they need to obviously expand on those offerings. Then next, this is one that Tara Babies turned me on to. This is Dr. Jart's The Beauty Balm. This has SPF 45 in here. So there are only 2 shades to choose from, which kind of suck. And this is the light medium 101. This has a very gray tone to it when it goes on, and it ends up blending in, but at first you're kind of like, do I look like the Crypt Keeper or something? Like you look like your casket ready at first. And then it kind of like warms up to your skin. I don't know what it does if it oxidizes, but it does end up looking beautiful on the skin, but I have to have a little bit of a tan because when I'm at my lightest, this is a touch too dark, and when I'm in my spray tan, this is too light. So I have to be at like the perfect time to wear this, but if this is one of the ones, if one of the 2 fit your skin type, this is very nice, and it's very, feels like luxurious on your skin. And actually, I'm sorry, there's 3 shades available in this, not just 2, but still, they need more. Next up is the Hourglass Illusion Hyaluronic Skin Tint. Again, I've mentioned a million times when they say skin tint, I think it's going to be like a tinted moisturizer or something with no coverage. This actually has a lot of coverage. This is fairly expensive for, again, like $56 for an ounce of product. Well, especially because I look at it in this tube. But it's lasted me a really long time. It's made in the US. There are currently 12 shades available, and all of Hourglass is cruelty-free, which is nice. I'm in the shade Ivory when I have no spray tan on. Actually, I have no spray tan on right now, but my face is red again from that IPL I recently got. Next up is one of my holy grail foundations. This is the Natasha Face Glow. This is not for oily skin. This is not for oily skin. I wouldn't say the Beauty Balm is for oily skin, and this is not for oily skin, for what I just covered. Otherwise, this would be good for oily skin. This is a light coverage foundation, so depending on how much coverage you want. Not for oily skin, definitely not for oily skin. I don't care what they say, put a primer underneath. This will be greaseball central for you. If you guys have seen me talk about this, I mix shade 40 and 10 together to get my perfect shade, because 40 is a neutral, 10 is a neutral, and there's no neutrals in between. I love this foundation. It's almost like a jelly, like pudding. If you see me again, I have to pump this out, brush it on with a brush lightly, and then go in with a sponge. If I go in just with a sponge or a brush, it ends up getting swirl marks. And if I go in just with a sponge, it picks up too much of the product and it makes it patchy, and I don't enjoy it. So my favorite way is to paint it on, stamp it on. This is beautiful. It looks luminous. I get more compliments when I wear this foundation than any other one that I own. I love it. It's only 12 shades available though, so I do think that they kind of need to adjust on that. Next is one of the only matte foundations I've ever really liked. This is the Cover FX Power Play. I have a whole video on this where I did wear testing with check-ins. You guys can check that out on my channel. There are 40 shades available on here. This is cruelty-free and vegan. This foundation, a little goes a long way. Do not glob this on. Again, if you have questions about it, check out my video. A brand new one is what I'm wearing today. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills, or ABH. This is their Luminous Foundation. So I have, the one thing I will say about this is I have a couple colors in this, several colors actually. So I have 210N, 220N, 240N, and then 250C. So what I did today was put the 250C on because cool. I was thinking it was making it that much darker, but when I look at that, it's not that much darker. The problem I have with this the foundation, I love the way it wears and I love the way it looks on the skin. Their neutrals are very yellow still to me, almost verging on orange. It's not that they're oxidizing that color, but even their neutrals I'm finding very yellow toned. So even though I'm neutral, and if I have to pick one or the other, I'd always rather go cool, because when I wear like a warm foundation, you can tell the difference between my pink neck. So this is a foundation I would say you have to go in and get color matched on, because it is tricky just based on the descriptions online. So I think next time what I would have to do is, because I do notice, and again, I did get an IPL, so it could be that I'm a little pink right here. I might have to mix a pump of the 250C with a little bit of the 210N. Even though this one is more yellow, I just need to lighten this up a touch. So otherwise, I do love the way it wears. There are 50 shades available. It's made in the US and it is cruelty-free and vegan for this foundation, which is nice. And that is high coverage. So I did that IPL. So again, you guys can see right here on my chest. If you guys follow me on Instagram, I talked about it. And then in my last video, I think I talked about it. So IPL is Intense Pulse Light. It's not a laser. A lot of people confuse the two, but this is basically almost like laser hair removal. Like it sends that zap, and it's targeting hyperpigmentation in your skin, sun damage, kind of freckles, things that, and not like, oh, cute natural freckles. This is like, I've been laying in the sun and I'm starting to look like a leather handbag freckles. So I had a lot of damage on my face from over the years, no matter how good I was taking care of, and with even chemical peels. I mean, it is something that you have to do with upkeep, because a lot of times too, when you're in very warm temperatures, sometimes that damage can almost like come back up to the surface. That makes sense. So if you guys look here, I don't know how much you can tell, but you can see I have like these really dark spots right now, and that's from this like peppering from the IPL. I'll have a whole video on that, but that was around my face too, and you can't really see it because of the ABH foundation, and it doesn't look cakey to me either, so I like that. Then my next most coverage foundation is the Hourglass Vanish Liquid. I also have a video of me demoing this. A little goes a long way. This is extremely pigmented. If you go on too heavy, just like with their Vanish stick, it's gonna look cakey, it's gonna look dry, it's gonna look like crap, it is not gonna wear well, it's gonna settle into every fine line. You literally take a dot on your finger, dot, 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 rub it in. Do not go overboard with this or you're going to hate it. If you have a question about this, search my name, like Stephanie Nicole and Hourglass Vanish, and you can watch me apply this. This is cruelty-free and vegan. It comes in 32 shades. And then my favorite brush I've been using to paint on the foundation with is this Makeup Forever. This is the 408 Wavy. Basically, when they're saying wavy, is they're trying to almost like mimic a cuticle in a hair to give the product more area to grip onto, opposed to something that's just completely straight. The regular price for this brush is $39, so it's nice to buy it while it's on deal. And this is all of their brushes are synthetic. I love that one. It literally looks like a painter's brush. So I literally paint my foundation on, blend it in with a sponge. Now let's talk about concealers. First up is the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. I really, really like this. Again, it makes a mess. Do you see this though? Like the packaging, I'm always like scraping it off on the edge. It's all over the top. Just like, oh, why such a mess? Maybe I'm just a messy person, but I'm pretty sure it does that to everybody. Then when I travel, if I put this in my makeup bag, anything that it touches has concealer all over it. So don't be me. Make sure you wipe that off before you put that in there. I feel like for the amount of product that you're getting, the price is right. I'm in shade light beige when I don't have any spray tan on. It's available in 20 shades and it is cruelty free, which is nice. Next concealer I wear this all the time when I have my spray tan. This is the Flawless Fusion Concealer. Regular price $29. So again, nice to get it while it's on deal. This is made in the USA. It's available in 22 shades. And I just love, like when I have a little bit of spray tan on, I just dot this under. It blends in beautifully. It does not crease. It's a really nice concealer. Now let's talk about brow products. So I've been filling in my brows now without my stencils. You guys proud? Maybe not. Maybe you're like, you got one crazy one. I have no more Botox on my forehead, so I can do all types of weird stuff. This is the Benefit Goof Proof Brow Pencil. So they have one that's precisely my brow, that's a finer point, but I actually find that I reach for the Goof Proof one more. This is the one that has kind of like that triangle diamond shape head. It's just easier to fill in. I am in the shade 4 in this. There's 12 shades available. And then these two are new to me, which I've been loving. This is the Hourglass Arch Brow Pencil. And in this one, I am the shade Dark Brunette. This one has the same, now in this pencil brand anyway, it has the same goof proof, that little diamond. What I like about this is this one glides on a lot easier. It's almost like, more of like a charcoal pencil or something, opposed to this is a little waxier, but I find that this lasts longer than that one though. So I do enjoy this. It's made in Korea, cruelty-free, only 9 shades available in this one, so you do get a little more with the Benefit. And then the other one is the Hourglass Arch Brow Micro Pencil, which is just like any other tiny, it is still kind of like a small oval shape, but I like to use this in the soft brunette in the front of my brows like this to kind of flick them up, and then I use the darker one on the rest of my brows, and I've just been loving those brow products. I'm pretty impressed with them. And there are 9 shades available in that, cruelty-free and vegan for these small ones. I don't see that claim made for the large ones, only for the smaller ones. So, and then what I love to blend them in is, and again, it might seem like no big deal, but when you get a nice spoolie, it makes a big difference. This is the Makeup Forever 272 brush, regular price $12. You can see the prices on the side wherever I am here. Synthetic. I love that spoolie because it's nice and deep. It really gets in there and like really blends everything in. And I also like it for my eyelash extensions that I can kind of twirl them around there. It's nice. And then out of all of the brow setting products that I have been testing and using, the one I've been reaching for the most has been the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter. I got this in Desi Perkins kit. Those kits are no longer available, or I don't see them online, so I'm assuming they sold out. But I love this. I also, one of the reasons is because I like the brush has long bristles on one side and short on the other, and you can really get in there on the end too if you need to. But I find this holds my brows in place and they don't get crunchy or flaky. Actually what I do this for is one of the only things I'll ever do for the gym is if I'm going in, my eyebrows are just looking, because I've had permanent cosmetics 2 times and they're not that permanent, they're more semi-permanent with my skincare and how much I exfoliate. They don't last as long on me, so I am due to get them redone. But when I go to the gym, like if I had any makeup on from the day, I take that all off, and the only thing I will have on are my brows filled in with this still, and my brows will still be in place when I left. They haven't like dripped off my face or done anything creepy, which I appreciate. The less creepy I can look, the better. Next, let's talk about contours. You guys have heard me talk about this for a lot. If you are my shade, a little darker or fair, the Fenty Matte Match Stick in Amber is one of the best contour products I think you can find out there. You get a ton of product. I've had this so long and I use this very often. Anytime I'm not airbrush tanning, I have this on. The price is right on this, and they do have several other shades for other skin tones. I can only speak to how this one works. Altogether, they have 20 shades available. Some of those are going to be almost like highlight sticks and things, so they're not all going to be contours. And this is a cruelty-free product, which is nice. Next up, anytime I do have a spray tan on, I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury Contour Wand. I mentioned this numerous times. I love the product in here. It blends like a dream. This packaging sucks. I don't know what they were thinking. Again, I beat a dead horse with this, but you squeeze and squeeze. It's cool because this little nozzle you turn to turn it on, and then you can squeeze the product up a little and then shut it off so it's not constantly squeezing out. But I'm like, dude, this component is just not good. It's not the business. I mean, granted, would it look normal with that big bulbous end if they only gave you that much product? No, but I don't know. Lie to me. Fill it up with something. I don't like that. But again, I don't mind. I just ended up squeezing it all the way out. But once it blends on the cheek, I'm kind of like, ugh. I can't let the product go. I like it, so I'll continue to repurchase that. So next up would be the Kevin Aquan. You guys have heard me talk about this a million times too. The sculpting powder. This comes in 3 shades, a light, medium, and deep. I use this in light when I am my normal skin tone, and I can use the medium when I have a spray tan on. This does have a gray tint to it, well, a very cool tone. It is supposed to cast a shadow. If you're extremely warm toned, this may look a tad bit odd on you. So I would recommend, if you're very warm undertone, that you actually have a sales associate try this on you in the store. But this is a cruelty-free brand, which is nice as well. One thing I did forget to mention is I get this question a lot. Just because I didn't mention something right in this video, and you've heard me talk about it before, my favorites, doesn't mean it's not a favorite for me anymore or a product I really enjoy. It just means I can't keep continually repeating every single product I did. So what I'm listing today are the products I've been reaching for the most and getting the most enjoyment out of recently. And again, a lot of them are going to be the same because, again, it takes a lot for something to knock something off for me, or a favorite product. But then there have been some new products that I've really been enjoying. Next for bronzers is going to be the Marc Jacobs Omega bronzer in Tantastic. You guys have heard me talk about this a million times. Has a light coconut scent to it. I don't really care for makeup that smells like food on my face. I didn't mind the chocolate ones as much, but for some reason it smells like suntan lotion to me, or like a pina colada, and I just don't like that smell near my face. But it dissipates quickly. It's a very smooth bronzer. It's made in the USA and it is cruelty-free. The next is the one I'm wearing today. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow. I don't really use the highlighter that much because it's more of a natural highlight. You guys have seen me put this on before, and I typically like to be seen from space with the kind of highlighter I'm using today. But I love this as a bronzer, and if you're a little deeper, you could use this as a contour, but I find this works best as like a nice bronzer. It's what I'm wearing on my cheeks today. I really enjoy this. You're getting 16 grams of product. This is made in Italy. There are 2 duo shades available, one that's deeper than this, and this is cruelty-free, which is nice. And then next up is a new product. This is the Natasha Denona Tans Bronze and Glow palette. So in this palette here, in the top, you're getting 1 cream product right there. Then you're getting 2 like glows and 1 bronzer. So I use this bronzer. It works very nice on my skin tone. If you're much fairer than me, I think this is going to be too much for you. Or you could use a glow cream base, but I don't see really why you would only really be able to use these 2. If you're my tone, you'll be able to use all of this. If you're a little deeper than me, you'll be able to use all of this. If you have really deep skin tone, I don't really think you'd be able to use much besides maybe these highlighters. But I really do. It's a very smooth consistency. Really have come to enjoy this product, which I wasn't sure how I would feel about it. And Natasha Denona is also a cruelty-free brand. Next up are my favorite blushes. As always, the Hourglass Ambient Lighting blushes. My all-time favorite, Mood Exposure. It's what I'm wearing today. Mood Exposure and Dim Infusion are my favorite. Again, I've talked about this if this is the first time watching it. You cannot just go in the store and do one of these. See how chalky my finger looks. It doesn't look good when you put it on like that. You need to swirl a brush in there, have a sales associate try it on you so you get an even distribution of the powder and the color. Now, some people will go around and want to open all of these and see. Every time you like work away, the pattern changes, so it doesn't really matter. You're getting the same amount in every single compact of the color and the ambient lighting powder that corresponds with this. It just gives a nice, beautiful airbrush look. It's not anything that's too harsh. These are expensive blushes, but they have lasted me so long. There are 10 different shades available, and again, Hourglass is cruelty-free. Next up is the Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Cheek to Chic. Try to say that 10 times fast. This one is on Sex on Fire. So basically what you're supposed to do is you have something that looks like a bullseye. Some people may say something different. But you're supposed to take this lighter shade, kind of go on the outside and swoosh that up, and then take the darker shade and kind of put that right on like the little apple of your cheek going back. You're getting 8 grams of product in here. They're made in Italy, cruelty-free, and there are 7 duo shades available. These are nice and pigmented. They blend well, and they last all day long. Then another blush that I have revisited. I used to love these, and I stopped using them for a while because I was testing so many things, are the Natasha Denona blush duos. I love these because you're always going to get a lighter shade and a darker shade. And for $38, you're getting 14 grams of product, which is a lot. They're made in Italy, cruelty-free. There are 11 different duo shades available. Some are matte and some are more of a sheer sheen. So look that up when you're on the website. And last but not least, seems to be a Natasha Denona day for me, is the Natasha Denona Blush Bloom Blush and Glow. So again, here you're getting 2 creams in the top here and then powders. So I've been using both of these as highlighters, depending on which tone I'm going for. This is definitely dark on my complexion, but if I pick up a sponge and I just put a very little on and blend it out, it's good. This is good on its own. I think this would be excellent for deep skin tones too, because you can mix all of these. This might be a little light on you, so it might be a little ashy. You might want to go in the store and check that out. But I like these little compacts she makes too, because I can stick one in for the bronzer and the blush and be set, good to go. I've only picked one dedicated highlighter out of this video. It's been the one that I'm wearing all the time, the one I'm wearing today. This is the Natasha Denona Super Glow. I know it seems like I have a ton of Natasha Denona. None of this is sponsored by her, I promise. Super Glow, and this is in the shade 02 Light Medium. 10 grams of product in here, made in Italy. There are 3 shades available. There's a lighter one than this, is the medium, and then there's a deeper one. Cruelty-free. This is an intense sheen. I have no setting spray or anything on top of it, but I just love this. There's no glitter in here. Putting it on with a fan brush is perfect. It just blends in really nicely, and it doesn't give you like any fallout, and it doesn't kind of emphasize any pores on your skin. Next, let's talk about eyeshadows. So first I'm going to get into my, if you guys watch me, you know some of Anastasia Beverly Hills are some of my favorite eyeshadow palettes. This has been one of my all-time favorites. This is the Modern Renaissance. I think probably pretty much everyone already has this by now. I feel like everyone's been talking about this for years, but this is a staple for me. I love these colors. There's so many different looks you can do. You can do neutral looks with some browns. You have a little shimmer on your lid if you want pops of color. You can do some orangey smoky eyes, some more like fuchsia toned eyes, red. It's a really versatile palette, and I love this one. So if you do like those colors, especially as we're starting to come into the fall seasons. Another one I love is Soft Glam. I've talked about this before too. I feel like this is a very versatile palette. It gives you some very romantic eyes, but you can also do some very smoky eyes. Like you have this gold, well, it's calling it a bronze, but I call it a gold. Like this bronze and noir color and this cypress umber. You can do some beautiful deep smoky eyes. I love this sultry color. This rose pink is probably one of my all-time favorite colors. I just love the blendability of these shadows, and I think this is an easy palette to travel with to give you a lot of options. And 2 more recent palettes. So this is Riviera. Now this palette is bright, and these are going to be some pressed pigments. You can see here this is not going to be for most people your everyday wearable palette, but this is very interesting because they do give you transition colors and enough here that you can do some very interesting vivid eye looks, and I really appreciate that. I always take the brushes out of them when I do that, or when I'm testing the products. I really like all of these colors. Technically, or historically, vivid colors are more difficult to work with because they require, or like some neons, pastels, some white in there, and that can make them kind of patchy sometimes. But I find that the blendability and the pigmentation on there is pretty amazing. And then this is new. This is in collaboration with Jackie Aina, and this is going to be limited edition. I find these colors beautiful too. I don't know, I feel like the more I look at all the eyeshadows, I'm like, am I picking out all the same exact colors? But I swear I'm not. Again, you can do a wide range of looks on here. And because Jackie is deeper skin too, you know that she picked colors that are gonna work on deeper skin, and these will work on lighter skin tones too. What I will say is if you're extremely fair, make sure you go in with a light hand on these colors, or you will pick up too much pigment and it can get very dark very quickly with some of these because they are so pigmented. So just tap your brush in and build it up. And if you do have medium to deep skin tone, I mean, go for it as much as you want. I would just pick one of those if you have one or the other, and all of those are going to be getting 14 shades, and they are cruelty free, made in the US. All the brushes in there are made in the People's Republic of China. Next up, you guys know it wouldn't be a video if I'm not talking about Viseart in some way, shape, or form. I would get one of their 12 Pan Pro palettes. These are my 3 favorites. This is the Neutral Matte, which I literally use almost every single day. This is the Dark Matte, and this is the Warm Matte. So This palette you can literally do everything with. You can fill in your brows, you can contour with this on your cheeks, you can mix a little in with some clear lip gloss and give yourself some tint. You can do a smoky eye with this, a warm smoky eye, a gray smoky eye. There's pretty much, again, nothing that you can't do with this palette, and I love it. Again, I know most people would look at it and think this is boring, especially for $80. You're getting 2 grams of product in each eyeshadow. That's 24 grams of eyeshadow in a palette. If you break it down in the cost per gram, if you've seen any of my videos where I've done so, this is less expensive than most eyeshadow palettes on the market. The difference is this is made originally for pros. So they need 2 grams in each eyeshadow because they go through it a lot, versus an average consumer may never hit pan on something that's like a 0.74 gram eyeshadow. So you need to figure out if that's something that you're going to use a lot. But then again, a lot of those other ones are specialty. They're like bright tones or shimmers, so you may never use that. Something like this, you can pair with every single bright palette or anything you have to do transitions and deepen up some colors. So again, I feel like this should be a staple in every makeup lover's collection that is comfortable with the price tag on this, and during these events it's a perfect time to buy them. The dark mattes, I think this is perfect for especially those with deeper skin tone, because this might be more like a neutral mattes for deeper skin tones. It might be more as versatile, I mean, as that. And then I use this all fall. This is the warm mattes. I've had like interviews with them. They explain they only put mattes in their matte palettes and shimmers in their their pro palettes, because if a fleck of mica were to get in on the pro palettes, someone was using it on set and a light picked up a piece of mica and it was reflecting back, it could be distracting. So they don't do that. These are now magnetized. You can take them out and make your own mix of whatever you want. So on the newer packaging, so if you want to mix in some of the like shimmery shades, the matte shades, you're perfectly free to do so. I've also talked about this in my last buying guide as well, because when you have the time to save some money on something, I would definitely go for sometimes the more expensive products. This is the Grand Pro Volume 1 palette. The regular price on this is $150. So if you're 20% off, it'll bring it down to $120. You're getting 60 grams of product. 60, that's a ton. You're getting 30 shades, 2 grams each. These are all magnetized and pop out. I have a whole video on this with the creators where it explains to you the idea of this being like a brow bone highlight, a transition, something for your crease to deepen the crease, outside V corners, and these are all kickers. These last two, you're going to feel a little more grit to them. These are more like pure pigments, so they're not as smooth. But again, you can mix any of these colors to match in with anything. So if this is just for you and you're not a makeup artist and you're deeper skin tone, there's a very good possibility that you will not be using this whole first row independently anyway. Again, you can't always mix them in, but that's just something to keep in mind. But when I do travel, I just went to Las Vegas and my friend asked me to do her makeup for her wedding and her bridal party. I brought this and a few other palettes, and there was pretty much nothing that I couldn't do with this. So I appreciate that. I like it that it's nice and thin like this. It was easy for me to hold in my hand while I was doing everyone's makeup, and I didn't have to worry about it. So again, pretty much any matte that I could possibly think of. Like, I do have some more vivids that I like, but that's like everyday wearable for me. Viseart was also trying to make themselves a little more accessible on price point for the average consumer that didn't want such big eyeshadow palettes. And this is one of my favorites. So they came out with the Golden Hour first. They had Tryst, Libertine. I like them all, but out of all of them, I like Libertine the best. I find I get the most versatility out of this. When I first looked at this, I was like, I don't know how I feel about all these colors, but I love them. The only one is this purple is not as vivid as it looks in the pan. You do have to kind of build it up a little bit. It's not a little patchy, but it's just not as vivid as I was expecting when I was looking at it in the pan. But it does build up and makes an excellent like crease color or transition, and the rest of these shades perform beautifully. I can do a ton of different looks with this, so I love this Libertine palette. Then the next two palettes that are very recent for them as well, and again, they're getting down into the price point to make consumers a little more comfortable. The regular price on these is $39. You're going to get the Rose Edit. These are called the Edit palettes, and then you are going to get the Warm Edits palette. So you're getting 12 grams of product in each of these. You're getting 12 shades. They're made in the USA and cruelty-free. And again, the versatility on these is is pretty nice. Like this, again, this would be like my perfect ideal, like kind of fall palette. And this is more like a romantic, again, rosy romantic look. But again, same great formula. I really like it. They've changed their shimmers. Like their satins and shimmers used to be a little too dull for me. They've really amped them up in the past years, which I really like that. Now again, one of my favorite eyeshadow brands is Tatcha. She makes shimmers unlike anything of this world. I've never found anything that quite is exactly like hers. So I would get one of these. If you like the gold palette, if you like golds and browns, neutrals, bronzies, that's what you're gonna get from this. You do have some kicks of some like blue teals in here, but you can see exactly what you're gonna get. There's not a huge range of versatility in this palette, but these shimmers are just like, I can't even describe them. So that like that gold that I just rubbed against, like that's like liquid gold. They're just beautiful. I do always use a primer with these and glitter glue to hold them on because I do have hooded lids. Otherwise it can transfer up and they don't stay as vibrant. I do love this gold palette, but if that is not up your alley, then this is the Biba palette, and this is all neutrals. I did break my black one out of here, boo, when I was traveling. But again, this is all exactly what it says, all neutral palette. This would be easy for you. Again, palettes like this may seem like they're boring, but for people that have to go to work every day, that can't wear really extreme or bright colors, these are perfect for you because you can wear these every day. So the palettes that sometimes look the most boring, it's like outfits even for work. Sometimes your most boring pair of pants are what you're gonna wear to work all the time, you know? They might not be like snakeskin, imitation snakeskin or something, but it's what you can wear. So you're normally gonna get your most use out of palettes like this. I do love all of these. Are extremely creamy, blendable. I like all the shimmers in here. I did break that one dark color spot, which sucks, but hey. Regular price on both of these palettes is $129, which is a lot. You are getting a lot of product, 37.5 grams of product. You get 15 shades in each of these, made in Italy, and they are cruelty-free. I don't know if you guys remember me saying in a previous video that I thought this would be more approachable for consumers if she kind of cut the amount of shadows in half and then kind of dropped the price in half. It would make consumers a little less reluctant to dip their toe in the water to test them out. And so Natasha came out with this Sunrise palette. Now the Sunrise palette regular cost is $65, and you are getting about half of the product you are in that. But again, if you're not going to use it all, then it may not matter to you. You're getting 15 shades in here. It's cruelty free. Look at these shades. This is beautiful. These shimmers are beautiful. The mattes are beautiful. I really, really, really love this palette as well. And then next, some of the Natasha 5-pan eyeshadow palettes. These are regularly $48. And so you guys can pick like whatever you want. They have mixes of some bright colors and neutrals. I had mentioned this in a previous one, the Natasha Denona, the Camel palette. This may look very boring to you, and you can see you're not going to get a huge range of looks on here, but you can do some neutrals with shimmer all over your lid or a little on the, like a spotlight lid. You might just want this for work, and then you can use this every day, and there's a lot of shadow in here. It'll last you a long time. Or maybe you want something like this, but I'll tell you, on some of these ones, I would double check to make sure as soon as you get it that you open up, because they did have a problem in the beginning when they were pouring these in, that since they were so emollient, they weren't sticking to the pan, and some of them were falling out. I haven't had that problem with any subsequent palettes. I just want to give you a heads up on that batch of the other ones. Last but not least are the Dominique Cosmetics palettes that I enjoy. The first one is the Latte palette. I've demoed this. I've talked about this in my year-end favorites and a few other. This palette is $42, and you are getting 18 grams of product, which is a good amount of product. It's made in the USA. You're getting 10 shades. It's cruelty-free. I like it that you can do some neutral looks in here, and then she also added these pops of color where you can really kick it up. It was an interesting mix of color. When I first looked at it, I think I've told you, I was like, meh. But as I've used it, they're very blendable, very creamy. I really enjoy that palette. And then she came out with the Berries and Cream palette. Now, you're actually getting less in this palette than you are in the Latte palette, and the price slightly went up. So the regular price on this is $44. I couldn't really tell you why that is. Maybe, I don't know. She might be using some different pearls in some of her shimmers. But you're getting 12 shades in here, made in the USA, again, cruelty-free. You're not going to get a huge range of looks in here. I mean, you can do some neutrals, you can do blues and some purples. But I really like the way that these blend as well. They're nice. For eyeliner, I've been loving this ABH liquid liner. So this one isn't like a typical like pen one. This is a brush. It's waterproof. You do have to have a little more steady of a hand, I find, than like sometimes the brushes, because you don't have as much to hold on to, if that makes sense. Like sometimes I can rest my pinky down on that other piece. I can't do that on here, but I like it that it's easy to like get a flick, like get a wing on there. Then two little kind of random things. You guys have heard me talk about this. This is the Urban Decay Grindhouse, the best pencil sharpener you will ever use on planet Earth. It has a hole for larger pencils and small ones. This is the first pencil sharpener I've ever used that doesn't eat half my product. It brings it to a perfect point every time. Lip liners, eyeliners, anything soft like that. I just can't live without this. I have to travel with it because I've accidentally broken my eyeliner or lip liner before, and I'm like, oh, what am I gonna do? I love this. And then the other thing I can't live without is the Too Faced Shadow Insurance, the glitter glue. This now is like black with gold packaging, but this lasts a really long time. I use this on every single pigment on my eye, every single shimmer typically. Recently I've been doing more minimal eye makeup look, so I haven't really been using this because if I am putting like a shimmer on, I just kind of want to melt it all together. But I feel like this is a must for glitters, for pigments, for shimmers, anything like that, especially if you have hooded eyes. But even if you don't, if you just want it to hang on and last all day, and it prevents you from getting any fallout, so have to have that. That's a must for me. Now let's talk about lip products. So I love this Laneige. This is the lip sleeping mask in berry. I have been through I don't know how many of these. I'm almost at the end of this one. I use this religiously. I have one of these on my nightstand. I have one in my drawer in my bathroom. I have one in each. I have like a brown purse and a black purse. I have one in each just in case I'm missing. When I was in Las Vegas, I forgot how dry that air was. And I normally have this little portable humidifier that I travel with, and I've totally spaced on bringing it. So my eyes were dry, my skin was dry, my lips were dry. This was really a savior for me. Can't say enough good things about that. Next is my all-time favorite lip liner, or one of them. This is Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Lip Cheat. This is like a My Lips But Better. A lot of times when you guys ask me what my lip color is, I have this on with some lip gloss on. So let's see, actually, I'll fill this in real quick. Probably could use to sharpen that a little bit. But I love this. It's nice and creamy. It's beautiful. I'm gonna put a gloss on. I'm gonna put the Fenty Fussy on top of it. We'll get to talk about this in a minute. Damn, I'm shiny again. I've been through so many tubes of this, which you'll see in my empties video. This is the Fresh Dream Sugar Lip Treatment. This is one of the ones that has no SPF in there, so you won't get that weird chemically taste in there. You aren't getting any skin or sun protection. But this Dream color is, I find this pink color flattering on everybody's skin tone, everybody's lips. It's really beautiful. Feels really nice. It's hydrating. I have several of these too in my bags because I don't like to go without them. And next you just watched me put on, these are the Fenty Gloss Bombs. So I bought all these too. The first one that came out was just the Fenty Glow. Then they came out with the Diamond Milk, and then Fussy was the last one. If I had to choose, I think Fussy is my favorite, just because I kind of like that more pinky color. And then it would be the Fenty Glow, and then more of the one that's just a shimmer. I like them all. They all have a peach vanilla scent to them. They're nice. I like the big wand. You can get 1 pass coverage, and those are also cruelty free. Now let's talk about 2 lipsticks that I love, or lipstick formulas. You guys have heard me talk about for years the Tom Ford matte lipsticks. In particular, this one color, Flame, is my favorite. It is this bright orange red, which I would never have picked on my own. I saw a sales associate wearing it. I asked her what she was wearing. She told me, and I bought it on the spot. These lipsticks are $55. Let me repeat that. $55. I bought 4 of these, and when she came up and said it was like $200 and something, I was like, excuse me? Not of this one color. I had a bunch of their mattes. I don't like the regular formula. I don't like the boy collection. Those are smaller, a little more sheer. They're mattes. This is a matte lipstick in a tube that is not drying, that will last through you eating and things. It doesn't smear all over your face. I can eat a whole meal and I look in and I'm not missing that like weird gap in here. It wears very well. It's just a beautiful, beautiful lipstick, a very substantial tube, but again, $55. Now, an alternative to that is the Charlotte Tilbury Matte Revolution lipsticks. Charlotte used to formulate makeup for Tom Ford, so these two formulas are extremely similar. They feel extremely similar. They wear extremely similar on my lips. They have tons of different colors in this. My favorite one in this is the Pillow Talk that matches the lip liner. But again, when it comes to two matte lipsticks, these are the only two that I really care for, their formulas, or not even just care for, I love. Last but certainly not least, I have some of my nighttime skincare and one hair product that I want to talk to you guys about. So let's get into the skincare. Again, I'm going to go in steps. I love this Pharmacy Green Clean Balm. It is a little more on the thinner side than what I typically prefer. Some people like those that are a little bit more waxy, that don't get as oily. I'm opposite. I like the ones that are thicker, that feel more oily on my skin. So I do love this one and I will repurchase. But the one I have been loving is the Drunk Elephant, this Slay. Again, I apologize. I know I sound like an uncultured swine, but when they're not words that are usual to me, I'm not quite sure. So I've used a decent amount of this. Something that's cute, I mean it's gimmicky but cute, is that the little spoon that goes on there, this little magnet right on top, that it clicks right on top there. I find this perfect to remove my makeup. It doesn't strip my skin. It's very nice. So I would pick one of those. Again, you don't need both of them. I've had Clarisonics, I feel like, since the day of dawn of time. They don't make this exact looking one anymore. This is the Mia 2. I have the Pro version, or whatever the heck the other one is called. I have another one of these in white that I use to put my foundation on. I just love these so much. And now they have something just called, I think, like the Mia, or it'll be linked below. Regular price on that is $99. There's another one that has a bunch of bells and whistles. I don't think you need that. If you've watched my skincare videos, you know, do not press very hard on that against your skin, or you risk broken capillaries and damage to your skin. The bristles should just make contact with your skin where you're holding it against. Do not push. Do not let the bristles splay. Just hold it against your face and go gently in the zones that it tells you to, and you should be good to go. If you have extremely sensitive skin, might not be for you. I only use the sensitive heads on those Clarisonics. And then one of my favorite cleansers to pair with that is the Youth to the People Kale and Green Tea Spinach Vitamins Age Prevention Cleanser. I've said it 8 million times. These names really need to get short. Like, give me an abbreviation, people. This is an excellent cleanser. It doesn't strip my skin. When it's typically these kind of consistencies, it makes me nervous that it's going to be really stripping of my skin, but it's not. It's made in the USA, it's cruelty-free and vegan, and you're getting a decent amount of product for the cost. I like a lot of the Youth to People products. Next is my favorite skincare item, which are acids. This one, if I had to pick any, is going to be the one that I would pick. This is the Tarte Knockout Tingling Treatment. This smells, I've said, terrible. It smells terrible. It smells like vinegar. Maybe gym socks, I don't know. But it goes away very quickly. If you are not used to acids, this will tingle you. I was even used to acids, and when I first switched to this one, it still caused a tingle to me. It does have acetic acid in here, which they're using as their preservative instead of a drying alcohol. This, again, does not smell pleasant on my face, but I don't care. It does amazing things for my skin. It does help resurface. It has salicylic acid in here. It will help you with hyperpigmentation marks. It basically is helping break up the bonds that are holding together your skin cells, or the dead ones, and slough them off. So acids are going to be one of those things that you see the most immediate difference for, acids and hydrators. So this is a 10% acid complex. Again, I love this. You're getting a ton of product for the price, $39, and you're getting 5 ounces compared to a lot of other chemical exfoliators that aren't even as effective. This is made in the USA. It's cruelty-free and vegan. Score. Now, not everybody can use that because that is kind of intense. Again, I would patch test it. It's not unusual the first time you use a strong acid for your face to get red, for you to feel a little tingle, but if it's like a unbearable burn, or your face is really itchy, it's probably not the one for you, so beware. The next one I would try would be the Boscia Resurfacing Treatment. Now this one has a 20% acid complex in here, and it has AHAs and BHAs in here. This is mostly glycolic. There's salicylic acid in here, and then again, that acetic acid is the apple cider vinegar, which they're using as their preservative in here. This is going to be better for those, I find, with oily skin or people that can handle a strong glycolic in general. My skin tends to be sensitive to glycolics, really strong ones. I like this one. I've had good results with this, but again, I don't think this is necessarily going to be for everybody. So again, I would get a sample and just test. Now again, don't get all these acids. These two products I just talked of do the same thing, and I'm gonna tell you about two more that do the same thing. So if you get a bunch of them and you start layering them, your skin's gonna get raw, it's going to hate you, and then you're going to hate me. This next one is the Algenist. This is the Genius Ultimate Anti-Aging Biphase Peel. So you can see it's an acid mixed with it's a suspension basically, and oil. So what you're gonna wanna do with this is you're gonna wanna give it a good shake, mix the two up. Then you're gonna put this on a cotton pad, you're gonna wipe this all over your face, leave it on 5 to 10 minutes, and then splash water on your face. Since this does have an oil in it, when you splash the water on your face, it kind of feels like a freeze frame because the oil and water don't mix. But I like the results I get from this, and this is mostly glycolic if I'm not mistaken. With the oil in there, it helps soothe. And then the last one that I would pick is what has replaced in the regimen, like my Sunday Riley Good Genes. Actually, this has replaced it for what it's doing like on the daily, but this one is the more of that Good Genes consistency, and this is the Pharmacy Honeymoon Glow. This is the AHA Resurfacing Night Serum. This has lactic acid in it as well. It's more of like a lotion consistency, as you can see, opposed to those liquid ones. Again, doesn't really smell good, but like I said, I don't care. I'd rub cat pee on my face if it did what I wanted my skin to do. So again, I think that's a great value for what you're getting compared to some of them that are up in the hundreds or plus. That's $58. So again, I feel like the price is really right. Now, say you're someone that's had a problem with retinols because they're just like way too aggressive for you and you're not willing to really commit that time to getting used to them. This Belief Peat Miracle Revital Serum Concentrate. So basically, like what the peat, like moss, is going to do is help speed up cellular turnover. So this is, you could think about it kind of as doing the same thing. I find that this just like, it does gently exfoliate, but it just makes your skin look really nice and glowing. There are no animal derivative products in here, so that's considered vegan, and it is made in Korea. Next is one of my all-time favorite oils. This is Sunday Riley's Juno. This is the only oil in their line that contains no essential oils in there, so it should not irritate anybody's skin. I've said it a million times, it smells like oregano, like pizza, but again, I don't care. I'll lube anything on my face before I go to bed so my skin does what I want. I love this oil. I've tried to replace it. I've tried to go without. Nothing gives me the glow that this does. My all-time favorite oils. Every time I get these little silver rings fall off the top. My Fresh Sea Berry oil, which is made of sea buckthorn oil. And then the Belief True Cream Moisturizing Balm. I've always showed you guys, like, I take a dollop of that cream on the back of my hand. That's not even that much. Like this, 3 little drops, not dropperfuls, like drop, drop, drop. Mix it in, rub together on my face. This has changed my skin. It has changed my dry, flaky, irritated skin. A lot of it I give, like, this is rich in omega acids, like fatty acids that are good for your skin, but I really do believe it's a comfrey root leaf extract that is in there here that is really, really helping my skin. This is the best moisturizer I've ever used, hands down, and I've used moisturizers from very inexpensive to a couple $100s, if not close to $1,000, and I've never been impressed like I ever have with this. Again, you have to get the True Cream Moisturizing Balm. They both look like they're in the same exact packaging, but one will say Aqua Balm. That's not the same. That one has alcohol a little higher up in the ingredient list, and that is also meant for oily skin. So if you're not sure, I would say get a sample of both, but I prefer this. I mean, I've never felt something so luxurious and like just so nice on my skin. I love it. So I can't live without this. If they ever stop making these two things, I will cry. And I know that sounds a bit dramatic, but I really will. Here's something that's new and improved. This is the Drunk Elephant Lala Retro Whip. First Lala Retro Whip, I really did not care for. It was more of like a cream oil, but I felt like it just sat on top of my skin that it never really absorbed. This one has been reformulated, and this is amazing. This feels really nice. This one I can instantly feel penetrate my skin. It does not just lay there, and it just feels heavenly. Like, ooh, I love this. I'd like to cover my whole body in this. If it wasn't for how much it costs, I would. And again, this pump, that same airtight pump that you push down on to get the product out of, this has 6 African oils in there and also ceramidins. This is a beautiful, beautiful lotion. Again, it doesn't really have like a pleasant scent. It's not unpleasant, but it's just like a really nothing. It's made in the USA and it is cruelty-free. Again, all responsibly sourced. So maybe get a sample of that one if you didn't like it before. That one I can't live without now. The next is the Youth to the People Super Berry Hydrate and Glow Dream Mask. I talked about this in one of my last videos. The maqui in here is the most antioxidant dense fruit in the world to defend the skin against oxidative stress. It has vitamin C in here, which is super potent and non-irritating. It's going to visibly firm and brighten the skin. It has squalane in here, which mimics your skin's natural oils to boost skin hydration without the risk of clogging your pores. This mask is excellent. A little goes a long way. $48, 2 ounces of product. It's made in the USA. It's cruelty-free and vegan. All sounds like winners to me. And the last Youth to the People product is this Adaptogen Deep Moisture Cream. It's a deeply moisturizing cream, especially good for dry skin types. Adaptogenic herbs and mushrooms calm the skin when faced with daily stressors like UV rays, environmental pollutants. The penapeptides calm the stress reaction in sensitive skin and irritated skin, so this could be good for you if you have somewhat reactive skin. Again, $58, normal price. You can see the sale price on the side here for 2 ounces of product, made in the USA, cruelty-free, vegan. That's all Youth to the People's stick on their line, which is nice. The last skincare product is fairly new to me. This is the Origin Dr. Andrew Weil for Origin's Mega Mushroom Relief and Resilience Hydra Burst Gel Lotion. My God, these names are getting more than I even talk, and I didn't think that was possible. This is going to be so good for those of you with sensitive skin, rosacea, anything like this. This is really calming, soothing to the skin. It just feels like a nice burst of hydration. So if you do have rosacea, if you suffer from red skin, anything like that, I think that the mushroom in here will really help calm that. So I would even get a sample of this and give it a go. Last but not least, I'm almost out of this. Hear this? This is the Living Proof Full Dry Volume Blast. So I love me some dry shampoo. If anybody ever watches me, normally my hair is like 90% dry shampoo. But like, watch this. So you see how my hair is laying right now? Now this is not, it's kind of like a dry shampoo and a texture spray mixed together, but not really. I wouldn't describe, oh God, I just love the way it smells too. It's not really, you're probably like, Steph, your hair looks like Tina Turner right now. Give me a break. I'm doing the best I can with product on my hand. This is really good for volume. If I, like right after, especially right after I get out of the shower, I kind of want my hair to have some texture to it or it just lays really flat. So I love this and I'm almost out of this. So this is the last thing I would get. And that's pretty much it. I hope you guys found this video helpful. I'd love to hear what you guys plan on picking up during the sale, if you're going to be restocking or what you'd like to try. I have heard you guys ask me to get the Pat McGrath foundation and a few other things. Pat McGrath's prices sometimes make me like, eee. So I will pick that up during the event just so I can try that out and not want to die at the cost. So that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys, and I will see you next time. Bye.